张艺谋执导的新片《长城》12月16日即将登陆全国院线，中外英雄联手打怪的东方魔幻就此重磅亮相。片中由维塔工作室和工业光魔强联手打造的顶级视效，无疑成为影片的一大看点。从《魔戒》到《阿凡达》，再到《霍比特人》，维塔工作室的银幕传奇一次次令观众惊叹不已。时值影片《长城》上映之际，时光网独家探班位于新西兰的维塔工作室总部，对话维塔创始人理查德·泰勒，揭开视效帝国传奇背后的成功秘籍。
My name is Richard Taylor. I'm the co-founder of the Weta companies and I run Weta Workshop. I also run Pukeko Pictures and we have a number of other endeavours. I've been in this business for 27 years. My wife and I moved to Wellington in the late 1980s, I think, to do our studies, but set up a workshop in the back room of our flat. We started making things for the local industry, and about 5 years in, we had the good fortune of meeting Peter Jackson. He was about to start on his second movie, which we joined him on, got to make lots of amazing things, and it's continued on from there.
与彼得·杰克逊的意外结缘，让维塔工作室从一家坊间小厂迅速成长为了实力雄厚、声名远播的顶级视效团队。2001至2003年，《魔戒》3部曲的相继问世，让导演彼得·杰克逊名扬天下，也让原本默默无闻的维塔连续3年包揽奥斯卡最佳视效奖，成为了当仁不让的业界先锋。
For the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring.
With the great fortune that we've had to work with Peter Jackson for 25 years, he is able to look at the process with a really unique eye, and often very funny scenarios unfold out of it. I'm often I like to think that I'm willing to push things, but I will always find that Peter is going to push it further. And I've learned never to question his creative extravagance around an idea, because it's going to be right ultimately. There's many well-documented moments in The Lord of the Rings where he asked for things. We came along, we showed him something that we thought was crazy and over the top, only for him to go, come back when it's twice as big, you know. And I find that really exhilarating, because it takes you out of your complete zone of where you thought you were comfortable and had done something just right, and it opens it up for his creativity. Definitely at Weta Digital, the team at Weta Digital are constantly pushing the edges of the technology. Those new technologies we're utilising significantly. We're building our own 3D milling machines, our own 3D printers, so you could argue that we're absolutely at the cutting edge. But there's a number of other people in the world that are also at that place, that are utilising these technologies. So I feel very proud, considering our budgetary constraints, the lack of education that we have around this equipment, or specialist skills, the fact that our team have all dived in and just given it a go and found successful solutions. The challenges of the job is looking at a job that you may have done one way a year before, but the client wants it in half the time for half the cost today. You've got two options. You can either go, it's not for us, not possible, mate. It cost this much to do last year in this amount of time, so we couldn't possibly do it today. Or you sit and you invent a new methodology, you innovate.
Roger. I'm on site. I'm going in.
The film that we've just completed, Ghost in the Shell, for Rupert Sanders, an amazing film, but one of the most challenging films we've ever worked on. So why? Why would it be challenging? Surely you've got 27 years of knowledge and you've got all this equipment and all these experienced people, because you set yourself those challenges, because you don't fall back on your laurels. You don't go, well, we've done it before, let's just do it again because that's going to be easy and we'll get out of it lightly. We're not about that, and I don't think anybody in this industry anywhere in the world is particularly about that, because you're trying to forge new ground. You're trying to innovate. No audience member wants to see what they saw yesterday, tomorrow in our trade. So it's critical that you push the boundaries of what you're doing. Lord of the Rings is an obvious one. Of course it was challenging. It was 7.5 years, 48,000 separate things built by 158 people over 5 departments in our workshop, and only 1/8 of our crew had ever worked on a film or TV show before. What was the most challenging part of that project for me? It was engendering in the 7/8 of the crew the self-belief that if they just gave it a go, we could pull this thing off. The most significant piece of British literature in the modern world to reach the world.
魔戒系列开启了维塔的成功之路，而数年来维塔成绩单上的重量级作品也是与日俱增，接连不断。无惧挑战，坚持创新，让这个兼具数字特效、特效化妆及模型收藏品制作等专业在内的新西兰电影王国羽翼渐丰，步步为营。而多年来的探索和实践，也让维塔在他们的创作道路上总结出了专属于自己的创作理念和心得体会。
When we design on a movie, we never cordon off our sort of imaginations by how it's going to be done. I think that's a very important thing when you're initially conceptualizing. At some point, it's going to be important that the filmmakers take the imagery and analyze, and we play a big part in that. We'll help analyze how those images could be broken up into traditional, digital, live action, post-work, whatever. But in that early stage of conceptual design, it's not about technology, it's about creativity, imagination, and telling the story through visual pictures. Of course, we're seeing movies that are using solely animation, and they're often brilliant movies. But I feel that as an audience, we'll still want to be touched by real-world settings with real people engaging in with real objects. And I think there is a growing harmony. For a few years there was almost a combative attitude between should it be digital or should it be physical, and will they ever merge? But I think we're finding a gracious harmony where these different technologies and different techniques are resonating with each other and making better and more beautiful imagery for an audience to enjoy, and that's a good place for the industry to have got to. Filmmaking is an interesting one because it's all about compromise, and that may raise an eyebrow because people go, well, you know, we can never have compromise when we're pursuing perfection. But time, budget, other people's aspirations, clients' vision, whatever it is, that creates compromises around what you may wish to do. but you need to hone and tune what you're doing to try and reach the best you can in the time and budget you've got, under the compromises that are necessary. And finding a sense of commercial realism, yet creative aspiration, and then engendering that in the team and getting them to feel equally as inspired as maybe I do and our senior team do, is so much at the heart of what we do. There are certain things that we're not ever going to work on. We won't work on anything that's gratuitously violent or inappropriate. Now, some may find that very bizarre thing to say, because we work on zombie movies and we work on vampire movies, which are gory and bloody and so on, but they're fantasy based. They are about subject matters that we can be assured that the audience can separate the fantastical nature of the endeavours in the story from reality, and we're thoughtful there, because we also make children's television. We have family people working within the workshop, and we don't want to make anything that sits ill with us. We'd never work on anything that's racially slurring, that's ethically inappropriate, and maybe inappropriate to different genders.
坚守自己的创作原则，探索独家的创作理念，维塔的行业思考让他的视效制作独树一帜、耳目一新。然而，身处行业领军地位，理查德·泰勒却从未将维塔的视野锁定在此时此刻。玩周边、办展览、做演出，就像他们的创作永远充满无限想象，维塔的未来也始终拥有无限可能。
The milestones of Weta Workshop, I feel, is our diversification. The fact that we haven't been myopically focused, that as a group, as a couple, my wife and I, and as a team, we have been open-minded to opportunities and followed different paths. Some successful, some less successful, of course. I say that innovation is the art of throwing yourself at failure and missing. Sometimes you simply don't miss. Being able to expand into children's television was a long-held aspiration. Being able to create a consumer products division that now makes beautiful sculptural artifacts, something that I've collected most of my life, and sharing those with the world. Publishing our own stories now in the form of 18 books. This diversification is what brings me satisfaction. When we came to make Lord of the Rings, I'd long been holding the desire to try and create a line of collectibles, and we'd explored the idea of doing original IP and such like, but it just didn't come to fruition. We couldn't fund it, we couldn't rationalize it, and then we got a license for Lord of the Rings, and that was really the inception of it all, that launched it all. We stopped visualizing ourselves just as a service provider in the entertainment industry, which is a relatively fragile basket that you've loaded all of your very fragile eggs in. And this first diversification gave us the opportunity to spread our wings a little. The most beautiful thing that's come out of the collectibles endeavor is that it has opened up a whole second world to us beyond the end of the movie. It's allowed us to attend multiple conventions around the world, share our content, our product, our art, our sculpture. These are discerning collectors, so you can have discerning conversations, you can engage at a highly intellectual level. They're fans just like us, and it's opened up a rich and multi-tiered world for us. Hobbit, and the silicon gel prosthetics, 36 sets of prosthetics to achieve the 13 dwarves each day, picture double scale. One of the areas I would love to explore more fully is live entertainment. There's a whole different level of sort of emotional connection with the actors being in the moment. I also have a great aspiration to share the content of our careers with the world in the form of a museum, and this has been a long-held aspiration. I liken it to owning a grimoire and hanging it on the back of your toilet door. We have this incredible collection of beautiful objects that many people in the world would love to see, and wouldn't it be neat to be able to share them? Exhibition that we're doing for our National Museum, it's based on bugs, and the challenge in our view is that the world's population do not see bugs as exciting. They predominantly would see them as boring. So we are creating an exhibition that puts bugs into a truly unique setting. This bug, this is a bee, and it even has hairs on its eyeballs. So.
对于未来的设想和规划从未停止，维塔的2017仍然写满了密密麻麻的工作计划。这其中不乏诸多银幕新作的重磅登场，也更包括了诸如展览、演出等内容的全新亮相。所有这些似乎都该是维塔人至高无上的荣耀与骄傲。然而，身为联合创始人的理查德·泰勒却坦言，他的成就感远不止如此。
The awards that we've been fortunate enough to collect, we've collected for an extraordinary number of people back home that made that possible. And if anything, the awards are an exclamation mark to the question, why shouldn't it be us? We live down in this small part of the world, the furthest distance you can almost get from the epicenter of the world's film industry. But why shouldn't it be us? Why shouldn't it be anyone? Why shouldn't a group of kids inspired to shoot short films together in the backwaters of any country in the world rise to be some of the greatest directors and filmmakers of our time? And today we have a very large number of designers in our design studio. We on average design between 50 and 55 films, TV shows or games a year. Some of these people are still in their late teens, early 20s, but their creativity, their output is formidable. Armed with modern creative tools such as Photoshop and ZBrush, these people are unstoppable. My greatest creative milestone is not an individual film or an individual item. To me, it's the empowerment of a group of young New Zealanders to achieve often beyond their own expectation. If you think about it, a young person aspiring to be an artist, a fine artist, they may go ahead and establish a career. They may reach a good audience in New Zealand. Maybe 20, 30, 50,000 people may know their work. An 18-year-old can do some conceptual design work in a feature film and reach 2.5 billion people. That's pretty empowering. And as I say, it gives an opportunity to indelibly stamp an individual's mark on the world stage. And that's a very good thing to be able to offer. So for me, that's the milestones. Those things, that fine marriage, that alchemy of mixing technologies, techniques, and people's creativity and skills under the banner of Weta Workshop to deliver a love of making, a handcrafted quality built possibly with technology, but still giving this organic, very New Zealand made quality of work that then plays out to the rest of the world. And that is attributes that I hope we can retain and continue to share going on into the future.